Hello, my name is Jesse Godinez, and for my final project, I chose to explore the tactics used to persuade our children. This topic really stood out to me, not only because children are vulnerable, but I have two little kids, two little ones, and they're being advertised and bombarded with persuasive ads each day. I see it through their iPads, through the YouTube videos, their gaming consoles. Every single day we go to the store, they will see ads walking through the aisles. What I've learned is that these advertising are not always innocent commercials. Some of these ads and tactics are very persuasive techniques that are they're manipulative. These tactics shape our kids how they eat, what they want to buy, and how they carry out themselves in our world. I believe it deserves a little bit more attention that it has been getting. Children in the U.S. See tons of ad every single year. There was actually a study done by Gantz and his team in 2007 at the Kaiser and Family Foundation. They found out that kids between 8 to 12 see about 7,600 ads each year. Most of these ads are food related. And these food related ads, you're talking about fast food, high sugars, high fats, and you're also talking about snacks. They've seen tons of snacks with, again, high sugars, high calories, low in nutritional value. This is a huge amount that they're influencing our kids. On top of that, younger children cannot always recognize when they're being sold to, when they're trying, when they're being persuaded. Their brains are still developing. According to LaPerriere and colleagues in pediatrics in 2017, children under 8 often do not fully understand the persuasive intent behind advertisement. This makes them extremely susceptible and vulnerable. So in my research, I found out that there's about 5 different tactics that they commonly use to persuade our kids. One of them is emotional appeal, making the product seem more fun, exciting, usually connecting it with friends and family. Repetition. Repetition is also something they use quite often, and they're repeating the same logo, a slogan, and overall, this is building memory for the child, right? Social proof, showing other kids how they enjoy the same product, so builds that peer pressure. Authority or celebrity appeal, using characters and influencers that they already trust. Scarcity and urgency, saying the limited time only to push immediate action. Let me share 5 different examples that show these tactics in action. So number 1 would be the McDonald's commercial, and they're using a Happy Meal, and they always show kids opening a Happy Meal box, having a blast, laughing, and enjoying the food. This builds that emotional appeal. Second, I saw that Fruit the Loops is actually using in their commercials, and I saw some commercials through YouTube that use the repetition of their slogan. It's follow your nose. And once a child hears that and hears it once and again, they're able to recognize it when they're in the aisles of a supermarket and they identify the toucan and want some Fruit the Loops. Third, Ryan's World. He is an influencer that's on YouTube. So he builds the authority and celebrity appeal, using characters or influencers they already personally know. And Ryan, as an influencer, gets sponsored by games or toys. He reviews it. Kids they don't know that it's a bias. They think it's a non-biased review, saying that it's fun, it's an amazing game, they should buy it. This obviously influences our kids. Third, I looked at Lunchable games. Fourth, I looked at Lunchable games. They use more of a gaming gamification for the product placement. They're not advertising as a normal commercial. You would find this influence because it's a game. Finally, I reviewed the holiday ad for the LOL surprise dolls, and this ads is based off of a limited edition. That's how they're trying to be persuasive. So that limited edition at the end of the commercial is really using the scarcity and urgency tactic. So all these tactics that are using are influencing our kids. We've learned all this in our book. So chapter 11, actually, of our textbook, we learned about sequential persuasion and scarcity tactic. The LOL surprise doll uses the scarcity by implementing the product in limited edition, right? Chapter 12 was a great chapter, and that was on deception and credibility. Also helped me understand why children are influenced by Ryan, the YouTuber, right? Like I said, he supposed to be reviewing the toys at an unbiased way, but something else happens there. There are real ethical concerns with something like this, and we can definitely see how it's not a short-term situation that's going on with our kids. This is a training that's going on with our kids for long-term consumer. Okay. And then this brings the question of what can be done. One solution is to educate our common folks, right? The media literacy education would be great. Teaching our kids how to recognize in between persuasion and other ads. Another way of being able to help this situation is regulations. Implementing regulations for our ads. This is a digital world, and this would possibly be the best way to do it. Now, of course, you could also mention how our parents and legal guardians have a responsibility, and they could play a role in limiting their exposure for their kids. At the end, I discovered that this project was awesome. I saw that kids get influenced all the time. I was able to learn more about how our kids get influence. And as a society, we need to be more aware of how persuasive messages shape our next generation. Thank you.